Hey, my name is PolishLynx and let's continue. Don't forget our esports dream. My first night at the CHB renowned team house wasn't the one I'd soon forget. That evening, just after I received my team jacket, I memorized the cracks and imperfections in the ceiling while my teammates turned and snored. When down came, I blinked. Away the pattern I etched into my eyes. The next night, sleep came easily. Practice did too. I thought that made me special. But I wasn't. Pressure from coaches, teammates, pushes everyone past reasonable work hours. You don't want to be the guy practicing 10 hours when everyone else practiced 12. Why not? Dude, if you need a break, take a break. Just because someone does 12 hours doesn't mean he will bring better results. You can do 10 hours, have more rest, and thanks to that, have better results. Maybe the policy you had basically brought you the last place in the league. Huh? Soon the routine becomes habit. It remains challenging and mind-numbing, but life is simple when it's on rails. I might never be as great as Locke, no matter how hard I practice. It's not just talent, winning isn't the goal, it's a symptom of something bigger. Locke told me that everything like that is possible to learn. Even now, with all the advice and expertise he gave me, I know I have his faith. As long as I'm off the rails, I might as well enjoy wandering. Even as light begins to trickle through my window, I don't rise until I hear movement in the hallway. Students, expats, part-timers, and divorced salarymen. I dress and walk among them. Shower first, man. Shower first. Should be enough for 20 hours. The clerk sticks his hand forward, palm up. I drop a few thousand won to it. Get the monthly deal if you plan becoming a regular. No, not today, sorry. He shrugs and returns his attention to his newspaper. Minseo is the first to notice me. She waves an arm in my direction until Cha Yong yanks her back into her seat. Oh, Min! You're drawing too much attention our way. Remember, I have to avoid detection for the plan to work. Alright! Sorry! 2 days in a row, you two put the hustle into hustling. Well, we have to make up for yesterday. What do you mean? You didn't pay me. We lost time. You should have beaten me with a rush build. Yeah, I'm sure it would have taken that way better. Jet stares me down before finally beckoning me to join the nearby station. Need any help? You wouldn't work as a bait. Keep us calm until we find our mark. I want to hear about life at the CHB house. It was nothing special, lots of StarCraft and a little personal space. But I'll bet it was still a lot of fun, right? Late nights practicing, preparing for Team League. I get excited just thinking about it. Sometimes yeah, but it's real work. Just ask Cha Yang. But before she can, a scrawny middle schooler with bowl cut jingles golden and zone fires door open. Minseo hurries to her feet, but Cha Yang throws a hand at her. Not that one. Look, behind him. Got it! While Jet ducks out of view, I'm free to watch the familiar scene play out. As soon as he's paid for his pee, Minseo approaches the newcomer and strikes up a conversation. He's wearing a leather jacket. What a tryhard. Who cares? We just need him to say yes. Even when someone turns Minseo down, they almost always play StarCraft. True, this one. How's he supposed to see his resources in the top right with the hair in his face? You're being an ass! I sink back in my chair. How is Jet of all people cheating my manner? She's the BM1. Oh yeah, that would probably open link. Across the room, it looks like Minseo's got the wannabe punk on the hook. She trots off and picks the station separate from both us and the challenger. The expected follows shortly. Jet hosts a game under Minseo's handle and crushes the guy in less than 5 minutes. From across the room, I watch him fume at his station. Victory in hand, Chaoyong's signals for Minseo to rise up and collect her winnings. Who's the bully now? Serves him right for thinking of her as a free win. Hey, that hurts! Please let go! What kind of trick do you pull on me? There is no way! I look to find the challenger with Minseo's wrist in a vice and rise to intervene. The punk races off when he hears me striding towards him. After the size up, he throws the sneer in my direction. I get it. This was some kind of trick. I'm only going to ask you once. But I don't get to ask once. Chaoyong flies past me, teeth, bird, and eyes alight with rage, and whacks a keyboard over his head. Nice! Keycaps scatter across the floor and he staggers away, dazed. In the chaos, Minseo retreats away from him and finds a place at my side. The punk doesn't seem seriously injured, for judging by the way Jet's holding the now crude keyboard, it's not too late for that to still happen. What the hell is wrong with you? You're crazy, my clan won't you get away with this? He blinks through his pain, unable to make out exactly who had attacked him. Come on, are you going to do something about it? Just let him go, it was only 10,000 won. I look across the room to see the cleric on his feet and searching out the chaos. We need to end this quick. Let him walk, Chaoyong. Jet tosses the keyboard aside without taking her eyes off of him. The guy still seeing stars points vaguely in Jet's direction. Whoever you are, you regret this, just wait! When Chaoyong fails to react, the guy stumbles and stomps for the exit. It's only once he's out of sight that Chaoyong gives a sigh of relief and turns to Minseo. You good? I shouldn't have smiled so much when I came up to him. You must have thought I was making fun of him. It's not your fault. Maybe you shouldn't do this anymore. Wait, it's okay. I'm fine with it, really. I'm living in the past until I put this behind me. It's time we stop hustling and move on to something else. That's not... I mean, we're still going to... If not this, then why else would you hang out with me? Why not learn StarCraft? That's what you really want, right? Minseo blinks once and rocks heel 2-2 on her. 2-2 on her school shoes. Well, sure, maybe. We'll teach. Better use of your time and ours. Her eyes flit from mine to Chaoyong's to seek approval. Sungkwan has the right idea. It's past time we had some real instruction. You're probably right, Chaoyong. Okay, I'm into it. Minseo keeps StarCraft super fun and superstar. Do we start right now? Don't see why not. If you're finally getting serious, no more random select. What race are you going to play? Protoss, Terran, or Zerg? I like all the races, but I have to pick one, don't I? My favorite pro gamer is Terran, but with Jet is a Zerg, and Bolt is a Protoss! You can always switch. Start with the race you think you'll have the most fun with. Minseo sways lazily, evidently debating the merits of each in her head. Okay, I pick Protoss. They look the coolest. What is it with my juniors and Protoss? Hey, if you pick Zerg, you'd have to Z versus Z with her. You should be thankful. True, but I want you to be the one to play her so that I can watch. Host up whenever you're ready. Also, pick Terran. Let's start off with some basic Terran macro. I'll make a few vultures and siege tanks and launch an attack. Left click V, left click V, left click T, left click T. 1A, left click 2A, left click. I wasn't ready! Okay, can we do NR15 in the next game? No rush 15. 15 minutes before either of us are auto attack. People still do that. I have every right to refuse for the sake of better practice, but maybe it's better to let her try and have a little fun. Sure, you got it. I'll play this slow and take a bunch of extensions. I'm sure that despite the space I've given her, I have a little to fear. And so, the surprise of none, Minseo takes straight to carriers and attacks when her 15 minutes are up. Let's see if I can defend this with 3 Goliaths. 1A, left click. Then her failure to micro makes it a simple task.
Oh god, that always works making hatters!
But she didn't give up just yet. Means reinforces her infantry army and attacks again. 1A, left click, 2A, left click. But with a proper army this time, I make short work of her. Which means thoroughly tested jet steps forward.
Let's go there. Good try, Minseo.
What do you mean? 92? Only 92? I don't know if it's good or not. Anyway, accuracy 100%. That might be the most important for me. Rank A. Why only A? Whatever.
Not bad, you're about the level I expected. So let's switch gears into some learning. Sunghwan, how do you think you'd start teaching someone about Protoss versus Zerg?
Probably with opening PvZ, easy to lose early on as the Protoss if you don't know what to do. This time Protoss opening against Zerg is Forge Fast Expand. That means your first buildings are a pylon, a forge and then a nexus. Using the forge to wall off the front and covering the wall with cannons makes it easy to defend your expansions. We do this because on most maps, Zerglings are hard to defend against without a wall. You know about +1 weapons, right? The upgrade that almost every Protoss player gets versus Zerg.
Yup, you need to afford to upgrade +1 weapons.
Right, so why do you think that it's so important against Zerg?
Well, I know it was. Is it because you need a forge to make cannons, so we might as well upgrade +1 weapons anyway?
Here's a hint. How many hits does it take for a Zealot to kill a Zergling?
2! I think it's 2!
Doesn't surprise me that you think that. Normally it's 3, but with +1 attack, it's 2. Zealots normally deal 16 per attack. With +1 weapon, they deal 18 instead. And since Zerglings only have 35 hit points, easy maths.
Oh, that makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
So, not only does the forge let you build cannons to defend an early expansion, it also gives you a powerful option to deal with Zerglings.
Okay, I understand all of the stuff you're talking about, but then how come I never see Protoss just make a bunch of Zealots against the Zerg and win?
The simple answer is because Zergs know how to beat that already. The full answer is a little complicated, you know, about the term metagame, right?
Yeah, I hear the commentators use it all the time. I don't get it, but I know it's something that's evolved over the years based on past strategies.
The most dominant player, strategies, and the map will determine the meta. A while ago, when Protoss used +1 weapons Zealot attacks to score easy wins, Zergs had to figure out a way to deal with it.
Modern Zerg builds can all survive a +1 Zealot attack. That wasn't always the case. The answer Zergs found to the dominant Protoss strategy that could also handle most other builds became standard. Give another example, right when StarCraft first came out, a Zergling Rush always crushed normal Protoss and Terran builds. Both races had to figure out a standard strategy to deal with a 4-pull, the famous Zerg Rush, without crippling themselves in a longer game. So playing standard is like standing at the center of a tennis court. You might not deal with someone as easily if you'd been in the right spot, but you can get to every ball if you work hard. That's a funny way to think about it. And as pros developed the metagame, we were getting closer and closer to truth, over the center of the court actually is. I feel so left behind. Why did I start playing StarCraft last year?
Chaeyoung and I follow up the practice session with a few matches of our own for Min Seo's benefit. She hovers behind us, watching both screens and asking whatever questions that came to mind.
Jed, how come you keep that overlord in a group with all of your mutalisks?
I have to do it if I want to stack my mutas.
Oh, you mean that's how you get them all clumped up? That's weird. Is it a glitch?
I guess so. I don't think of it as one. There are a ton of quirks like that in StarCraft. Patrol Micro for one. It lets us make a moving shot with certain units with an otherwise useless button. Those quirks are part of what makes StarCraft special. There is the way developers intended for us to play it the way we do. Without Korea, StarCraft wouldn't have been recognized as a deep and rewarding competitive game, especially 10 years later. And don't even get me started on the importance of Korean-made maps to keep the game balanced. Foreigners are a non-factor as far as I'm concerned, even if they did develop the game.
Huh. Hello? Aren't you forgetting someone?
One win against many. One win against many. That's nothing for non-Koreans to brag about.
Huh, don't listen to Sung Kwan. We simply took it further than it was meant to go, with no sign of stopping, might I add?
How can you possibly disagree? It's indisputable that we have the best players and the best leagues.
Someone else would have found the Mutalisk stacking trick if a Korean hadn't. Don't think that StarCraft belongs to...
Chai Young's train of thought screeches to a halt when I ambush her Mutalisk flock with coursers. We call the practice session after Jet closed her way back to an admittedly impressive comeback so that Miseo can get to Crown School on time.
Thanks, you guys! I'm really excited to practice tonight after I finish my schoolwork! Go and practice already. Try to treat it like a game while you still can. Spending time with two pro gamers is rubbing off on me, I guess. The heck? I'm not... never mind. See you, Miseo.
Take it easy. I offer a lazy salute as she heads off, leaving me to contend with Cha Young and her skull on my own.
How can you be such a KPGA shield, especially after CHB renowned cut you?
I'm only stating facts.
Facts!
Cha Young steps forward and strikes a pose reminiscent of old propaganda posters.
I'm Sung-Wan Lee. The Republic of Korea is the greatest country in the world, especially at StarCraft. Never underestimate Korea again.
A shame you never gave any ceremonies.
A shame you'll cry when I drop you.
What's with the sudden faith in for regulars?
Not sudden, and it has nothing to do with faith. It's about respect. Everyone in this profession deserves that much. And drop the Martyr Act. I'm sure KPGA bureaucracy is part of why you're off CHB renown. I knew it!
I'm not saying anything like that, but they got me ahead of others that I know contribute less.
Is someone important enough?
Not that I know of. I was Locke's practice partner all throughout his XSL run.
Consider me impressed. Shame about the finals, fool. Why didn't Locke stick up for you? I doubt he'll find a better practice partner.
I glanced away and rubbed the back of my head. If only I had the answer to that question. I like that there was the freaking scratch of shoes in the background.
Do you want to go for a walk?
Yes. With you always. I think we should just practice.
What is wrong with you? We will later. You'll see where we're going.
Slowly but surely I start to recognize the sound of our shoes against the concrete. Huh? Won't it be crowded?
Not likely.
We turn to an outdoor shopping mall with the real estate signs, littering every patch of grass, and come to a stop before a gutted storefront. And I thought Crown schools were on the rise.
Try to remember how terribly this place was managed. We're lucky that it was.
Jeff starts forward, ducking under some yellow tape to test the door. Where are we going? Bold, but I don't think... It yells to her pool, and with a mischievous look back, she steps inside. Not to be left behind, I follow Jet's lead and I quickly find myself shoulder to shoulder with her. We might as well have spent our nights here on StarCraft instead, at least in your case.
Just mine?
We turn to an empty room, its carpet floors striped bare in places. Jet breaks from my side and strides to the center, hands set on her hips.
Every night I spent in this room scared me. When something didn't make sense, or when I got a bad grade, I prayed for a day when I could make my own path.
You did.
I did. You did too. And we both failed. Kind of.
Silence. The giant smile is there, but there is nothing behind it.
I can't stop thinking what if. It's practically all I can think about these days. You act tough, but I know you feel the same way. We're behind. All for some stupid esports dream.
But you wouldn't take it back.
I was ready to. Then you had to show up.
That's not true. You've been hiding.
Trust me, I've been trying to convince myself not to repeat my mistakes. Can you spend another year this way and call yourself happy?
Only one person gets to win a Star League. Do 31 others go home unhappy?
That's the world we live in. You are incredibly lucky to only know that because of StarCraft. I can't just show good games for the rest of my life and be satisfied.
But you'll try again anyway.
I will, because I want this, and I still believe I can make it work.
She extends a hand. Eyes veiled behind her bangs. I reach to renew our pact with a shake. To us, future champions.
To this esports dream.
Don't forget our esports dream. So that's like they made a promise as childhood friends previously. So basically in their childhood. And now they made that promise again, kind of. Interesting. I spent another morning as an outsider in my own room. A brief consideration of returning to my parents' place ends when I notice my pained face in the mirror. The chance of interacting with them comes with the chance of them discovering my situation. There is no way I'm going to give them that satisfaction. I brought very little when I moved into the CHB Renault team house. The contents of my single cardboard box reflect that. My parents were always preoccupied with what they owned or could own. At the time, I was glad to be free of that. A knock sounds at my door. I don't remember telling Jet where exactly I was living. Yes?
Hi.
Hello?
I need to print something and can't get the print to work. Can you help?
Sorry to hear that. You should probably ask the landlady. I think her room is on the first floor.
I did. She's not there. Or if she's there, she won't answer the door. Please, I have to print this essay or I'm dead.
Was that on an all-nighter?
Really? Dad, will you at least take a look?
Fine, show me. She leads me down the hallway to the right, the opposite way from the stairwell. We emerged in a shared common area filled with a kitchen, washing machines, and other standard necessities. Among them is the printer in question, open to reveal its guts.
Here, I can't make it work. It has paper, it has ink, I don't know the issue.
You're printing from a PC in your room, I'm guessing. Which printer are you sending it to? I point out the brand on the side of the machine. She squints forward and tilts her head to read it.
Hey, that's not to PDF. Could it be on a different floor?
It's all I can do to keep from smashing my palm against my forehead. That option may be in English, but that's no excuse for a Korean high schooler. I quickly fill her in on her mistake. If she feels an embarrassment, she weighs it well.
1 second.
She steps down the hall into the door and just into mine. Less than a minute later, the printer grins to life and spews a half dozen pages on post-war history. It's well written and researched as far as high school history papers go. She returns by the time it's finished printing, relieved. Are you perhaps bad with computers?
Not at all. I'm extremely online, actually. I'm just tired, I think.
It will be over before you know it. That's all you needed, yeah?
Yeah, thank you for helping me. I'm Yuna.
Sung-Hwan, I recognize the uniform. You're a high schooler.
You're not?
No, I graduated last year.
Then why are you here? Sorry. Never mind.
I take her up on the tacit offer not to explain my situation. I'd prefer that as few people as possible to know that the Protoss player Bolt was kicked from his team, at least until I'm back on the KPGA squad. She wanders away after we share a farewell, her papers held together messily under her arm. One good deed done for the day, time to spend the rest of it grinding StarCraft! Minseo won't be at the PC bank till after school's out, but I might be able to find Cha Young. I pop my head through the door and peek inside to find Golden Zone Fire mostly empty and with no sight of Jet. Maybe I'll grab an early lunch and find her here. When I return, I'll have to start practice soon either way. But before I can leave, a voice within the cafe calls for my attention. "Young man, come here for a moment!" When I turn, I see the clerk beckoning for me from behind the counter. It's only after a pause that I take a few steps in his direction, with my hands buried in the pockets of my sweatshirt. "You and that red-haired girl are pro gamers, aren't you?"
Who told you that?
"Those brightly colored jackets and the hammering you do to my keyboards, and you did just now. Heh 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 heh. What are two pro gamers doing in a PC bank? Don't you have practice hands or whatever else the chaebol have you working from?" On the contrary, she's a former pro gamer, not currently on a team. As for me, I'm in the same boat, so we're a bit off with that assumptions, Smokes. That ain't my name. And I get it. Good luck to you both. Your cafe's just around the peak. You don't need to get involved with us. Straightforward of you. Just don't do anything that will cost me any money or time, and that's the deal. Speak of it, if your friend hits another one of my paying customers with keyboard, you two are done for. You're lucky those Q cents are cheap and that I don't involve myself with police. Right then, I'm going to... You're here early! Jet brushes past me and slaps a card onto the clerk's counter. Smokes takes it for a scan and throws me a stern look when Cha Young turns away. Once her time's added, I follow her to our setups. But nowhere else to be. Alright. Oh, it's not time.
Is this all we have for today?
Besides Bean and myself, the classroom is totally empty. He stares up at me annoyed, probably because I told him I was bringing snacks today. Bean? Bean? As in rubbish bin? Or... I hope not. There is no food, is there?
What a junk and joy, even Jahoon!
I knew it. This was time. No good players, no one to learn from, and no food. Main cell, I quit!
Bean, wait! But what about club practice?
What practice are you talking about? All you do is ramble about your favorite pro gamers week after week. Now you ask for practice. Let me guess, you want to play fastest possible BG8 customs. I'm out here. Without a word, Bean rises from his desk and storms off. I reach for my backpack and fumble through my books. It's only once I'm sure that I'm alone that I pull out my trusted confidant.
I don't think that anyone else is coming. What if we're running late? No one has time for a trivial club with the CS SAT looming. Also, you've heard them call StarCraft old and frustrating. I believe in second chances. It's time to face facts. Cha Young was the only reason the StarCraft club was popular. You can't sustain it with audio and snug lies. You don't know that.
I fling the purple plushie across the room. It bonks against the bookshelf and flops to the ground sadly.
Oh no, what have I done?
I rush forward and scoop up Moot into my arms. He's not broken or torn or anything but...
I'm sorry. It's okay, Michelle. I know how you get. You don't have to only listen to me now. Why don't you consult Probgoon? Oh, that's a good idea. What do you think, Probgoon? Am I gonna keep the club together? Why do you always take Moot's side? Oh no!
I think she has a problem. Oh well, a visit with Cha Young and Sangwan will cheer me up. Golden Zone Fire isn't too far from my school. I wouldn't mind the walk even if it was. It's not like I have anything to do except study for tests that everyone says will single-handedly determine my future. It'd be cool if you could study StarCraft in school, but I'd probably make a bad grade. Jet is amazing. She cruised through school and pro gaming at the same time. I never saw her study ever, which means she must have aced everything without trying. Well, too, pro gamers are so cool. I wish I was talented like them. Right there, that's her. I turned to find the guy from Mr. staring at me. Behind him, a bunch of guys wearing matching school uniforms. Watch on. Oh my god. Losers! One of them steps past the crowd to stand right in front of me. Way too close, if I'm being honest. He's really tall, so I have to stare up to look at him.
What's your name, girlie?
I'm Minseoki. Nice to meet ya.
I spin and make my third pose, but not as cheerful as I'd like to. This guy doesn't look happy to see me.
You know you don't know turf, don't you?
Turf? What is he talking about?
The soccer fields is that way, that's what you mean?
A few of the guys behind him laugh at my answer for some reason. After throwing a stare back to silence them, he cracks his neck and turns back to me.
You think you're funny?
Sometimes.
Let's get right to the point. You cheated one of my crew in a bet match. Now face the wrath of the Goon clan. I charge you to a best of 7. Each time someone exposed you as the fraud you are, and this time you won't be able to hide behind your little friend.
No!
What'd you say?
I don't accept.
What do you mean you don't accept? You can just not accept.
I don't wanna. I refuse.
I mean, technically she can. The guy stares at me while the crowd behind him breaks into muffled whispers.
Do you know who I am? I am one Goon, Demon King of Goon, and feared by clans everywhere. I'll ruin your reputation, I see inside.
Okay.
You won't be able to show your face online ever again.
Okay.
Behind him, the whispers grow increasingly concerned.
You're ducking, just like that. It's because you know you'll lose, isn't it?
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye!
I turn and skip away without another word. After a block or so, I turn down the street to Golden Sapphire and catch the group out of the corner of my eye. He's yelling at them. Poor guys. Oh my god. She absolutely destroyed them there.
I'm here!
She's such an airhead, but I like her. Minseo makes her arrival known the instant she steps through the door. I can only spare a half-second look given the protection I still need to make for Jet's imminent attack. I sense her presence behind my left shoulder, and then my right.
Who's winning?
Me.
So she thinks. A moment later I face off with an unreal number of hydraulics. Bad timing for both. I'd sniffed out her 2 base attack early enough, but her macro is simply too on point. She makes short work of my round line and ends the game soon after. Losing sucks. Facts! Why don't you just make lurkers like a normal person? Your all-ins are so unpolished.
Because that's what you wanted me to do, and that's precisely why you weren't expecting one.
Not a bad read. She shows a grin until Minseo cuts between us with stars in her eyes.
Jessie's so tricky. One time back in school, she told me that she was going to vaccine concert with a college guy, but then I saw her dancing in one of the live MV's crowd shots all by herself.
Minseo
jolts upright, realizing she may have said too much. She glanced back to me with a clarification.
Oh, sorry, the song was boosted, so it's unnatural she danced whether or not she had a date.
Jet sinks into her chair, doing the best she can to mask the embarrassment on her face. I should help out. I like boosted, for I prefer panic and fired.
Oh, you like Vaccine to Sang One? I can't wait for their new album next month. I love to put on their music videos while I study.
Jet managed to regain her skull, nose wrinkled and aimed at Minseo.
Club practice is over already? Don't tell me that you guys aren't going over replays like I used to force you all to. We totally are. Just today's was a rush build, so it was fast. Yeah, everyone's learning so much.
Really? What match did you guys watch?
Some days in Minnesota throat, her expression frozen as the gear stand in her head.
Locke versus Virus, game 5 of the finals, yeah!
That was a great game. Fierce had such a bad start, it's crazy that he pulled off the win.
Totally, yeah, I agree with that, what you're saying, for sure.
That was the game where Locke proxied. That Star League final came down to a knife fight like that is unusual.
That's right. What do you think about Fierce's defense from a Protoss perspective?
He didn't overreact, which is always a good thing, but I think he got it too close with how he kept making probes.
He did.
Did you say that you just watched the match at club practice?
It was smart of Locke to recognize that he had to go for a tie. He had so much space to navigate, but the few times his marines got isolated really hurt him.
All he needed was the final probe kill, just one more shot. I'll admit that I was on the edge of my seat at the end there.
I practiced that rush with him tons of times, but that particular situation never came up. I wish he'd won.
Fair enough. What conclusion did the club come to, Mean Sail?
Well, you know, all the stuff that Sun Quan said.
The club's dead, isn't it?
I'm sorry, Jet, I didn't want to tell you.
Miso rushed to Jai Young's side and wrapped her arms around her. Jet puts an end to Minso's sputtering apology with a few pats.
It's really not a big deal.
It is fun. I wish I'd be able to keep it together, but I'm not good enough at the game, and I'm not a great leader.
Look on the bright side, you've got the fact that you're a club leader on transcript, but you don't have to put real work into it.
You're not helping.
And you've got us to teach you how to play StarCraft. Jet raised an eyebrow, better, but not enough to earn her approval.
Oh, that's right, play. Okay, what are we gonna learn today?
How about the fundamentals behind expansions? Most new players struggle with understanding that. What do you think, Jet?
Actually, yeah, whenever we play 2 versus 2, she always stays on the one base.
It's hard to focus on 2 bases at once.
And even hard to focus on 5. Good thing you didn't choose Zerg.
It was my second choice.
Okay then. Miso, what do you know about expansions and when to take them?
Well, most pro gamers take 3 or 4 in a normal match. It depends on the map and the matchup too. I get the feeling that an expansion is a big risk that pays off over time.
That's not a bad way of putting it. Being an expansion temporarily hurts your ability to make an army. In exchange, you can support an even larger army once the base is up and running.
Expansions dictate the game's tempo. When to attack and defend are defined by moments of strength and weakness, and those are often determined by base timings.
So basically, I should only take an expansion if I think I won't lose in the next 2 or 3 minutes.
Sure, one way of putting it.
Okay, but this makes me wonder, if it's that hard to defend expansion, how were people ever able to take them in the first place?
Defender's advantage.
Is that the name of a new map?
It's just what it sounds like. The defender has the advantage against an attacker since it takes less time for their units to reach the battle. Also, the attacker has to scout to know they can and shoot attack. That takes time too.
Even if your army is a little smaller and you aren't producing quite as fast, it's still possible to win an engagement due to defender's advantage.
I get it, and defensive structures like cannons and bunkers helps too, right?
Yeah, sunken colonies are absolutely necessary to defend against Terran cheeses and Odins.
Your natural expansion is the first one you take. It's called that because it's almost always the expansion location close to your main base, and therefore one you should naturally take.
Yeah, I knew that. I must be natural.
Expansions contribute to most of StarCraft's intense challenge. A game where everyone is only on one base wouldn't be very strategically or mechanically deep.
Every player has limited APM and attention, so we're constantly making calls like whether to prioritize a battle or reinforcements. Players who can efficiently manage 4 bases at once basically win by default against those that can't once the game goes late.
That doesn't sound very fun. StarCraft is more exciting when it's decided by cool strategies or macro.
It's fine if you don't want to focus on macro, at least for now, but you'll have to find your edge somewhere else.
I don't agree. She'd steamroll.
I don't agree. She'd steamroll bad players with good macro.
She's right, of course, but it's not something that's exciting here about a game that Minso probably already finds daunting. Last thing, you probably know this from all the pro matches you've seen, but Zerg always wants to be at least a base up on Terran and Protoss.
Since Zerg produces units with larvae, the more hatcheries they have, the better. Zerglings are good at establishing map control early, but generally weaker in a straight up fight.
Protoss also wants to expand before Terran, but not in the same way as Zerg. We can stay equal on bases as long as we establish our first. A maxed out Terran army is usually too hard to fight if you don't already have an advantage going in the late game, so we usually take small risks early to prevent a challenging situation later.
Wow, so much information. I'm going to need to write it all down.
Minso turns around and digs through her book bag set behind her station. When she pops back up, it's with a notepad in hand.
Seriously? Note taking? What are we, back in high school?
No way, it's fun and a great way to study. You agree, don't you, Bolt?
Sure, helps you learn it the first time and gives you a resource to go back and check if you're feeling lost.
Exactly, that actually gives me a great idea. If you get the chance, can you write down anything you think is important for me to learn?
I could do that for you, yeah.
Just don't make things complicated for Sung-Kwan. There's enough for us to keep up with as this.
I won't, I promise. Most StarCraft players have the ability to read into subtle cues, some stronger than others. The casters have taken to calling it star sense. It would surprise me if you could tell when there is a good time to bring up a topic on someone. If there happens, something might appear above the text box like this. Pa-pum! That might be a good time to present one of the topics in your notes. You don't have to, but you probably should.
Can I? Oh my god, I have this! StarCraft team sponsored by the... Wait.
Sorry, actually don't know anything special about that.
I shouldn't expect you to, sorry.
It's fine, try a red highlighted term next term.
What? Star Sense.
So anyway, pretty neat, right? If you want to present another topic, you can do so now.
PC Bank. Okay, all entries. Holy crap. Practice partner. No, well, that's obvious. Programmer. That's a professional gamer? Okay. Bolt's box. That's obvious. 7 kings. Of A for freedom seasons. Okay. PC Bank, well, that's like, you know, the place with the computers where you play Serdanet and so on. Star League is basically the league. Braver Open Tournament. 4chan. SAT. Okay, that's a test. KPGA, Gaming Association. Military service. Oh, okay, you have like you are forced to do that, kind of. PM but manner. Okay. Meta game. Beyond the game. Preparation. Okay. Ceremony. Well. Okay, that chaebol. So Korean comments the placing her role in politics. Okay. I will read this later. Pop group. Okay. APM. Actions per minute. Oh, okay. Star sense. Player's intuition. Okay. Characters. Lock. That's the guy that we trained with, called Coach Park. The guy that kicked us out. Minso Kim, and the hyperactive airhead girl, she's cool. Jet, I like her a lot. One that bastard, Smokes actually, the owner of the cafe. And this is our neighbor, kind of. Okay.
Sorry, actually don't know anything special about it.
Oh, I shouldn't expect you, sorry.
It's fine, try and Red Highlander next time. So anyway, pretty neat, right? You want to present on the topic, you can do so now.
Flexible, I see.
Just make sure you present something that's relevant. If you're dealing with someone who doesn't have a lot of patience, they might not like it if you bring up a bunch of stuff that they don't think applies to them.
Don't look at me like that.
Okay, let's try to present something else.
Star Sense. KPGA. Present.
The Korean Pro Gamer Association is a big government-linked organization that's in charge of esports in South Korea. They're connected to every big esport, and since StarCraft's biggest deal with it a lot. If you want to play StarCraft in a big league, you have to get a pro license. The KPGA can revoke it if you're a scoundrel. You can basically think of them like the NBA or NFL in America with government ties.
They are monstrously sized these days. It's amazing seeing how much they've grown.
They're a monstrous organization, that's for sure.
So, anyway, pretty neat, right? Do you want? No, I don't want. Make sure present.
Don't look at me.
Okay, last chance. I mean it.
Why don't you see? If you can find a few matches online, means
Oh, okay, I'll totally crush my opponents with my new knowledge of expansions, for sure.
With a thumbs up, Miso flies in the seat and buries her ears in a pair of headphones. If she were any closer to the screen, her nose might be touching it. Jet turns away from her with a slight smile and shake of her head.
Got a sec?
Plenty, till I find the team. This about that.
No, well, not necessarily. You know, ICG?
International Cyber Games. What about it?
I've been thinking about going.
What? Why?
A few reasons, one of which is to compete. If I'm not giving up on StarCraft, I should eventually try to win something now.
You should be trying to find a place on a KPGA team. XSL is the only league that matters.
Ah,
Is it now?
more of this. You realize how close-minded you sound when you say that, right?
We've won ICG every single year. More often than not, it's two Koreans in the finals. Why waste the money traveling when you can find the same level of competition at home?
We? Then you're not interested.
I didn't say that.
No, just wanted another chance to spout of more patriot Sun Quan nonsense.
You can be pretty mean, did you know that? Jet throws her arms up and turns away and then back towards me so quick that it looks like she randomly just walked in a circle.
You can pride yourself on our country's esports achievements once you're contributed to them. I'm seriously sick of hearing about your crush on the KPGA.
Just then the sound of the cafe's door slamming open earns not only mine and Cha Young's attention, but practically the rest of the cafes as well. A dozen similarly dressed high school aged guys fooled around the stairs and the cafe, they're tailed by one far taller than the rest.
There she is!
Cha Young unzips her jacket and stretches out her right arm as she steps forward to intercept the familiar high schooler. Minso, busy with their ladder game, remains blissfully unaware.
Here, wait, Jet, from the other... That was you. Wait a second, were you the one playing? Yeah, was that not clear?
Oh shit, guys, I had to play against Jet! The group's leader winces somewhere between surprised and distraught. Despite the presence of a bona fide StarCraft celebrity standing before him, he shoves his clan member back and points sharply at Minso.
This girl dishonored one of my clan members, and dishonored the Goon clan does not abide.
Your clan name is Goon? Jet throws a look my way. I pull her towards me and tell her its English meaning.
Oh my god! Seriously?
All he can do in the face of Jet's growing laughter is stare. By the time Jet's finished collecting herself, Minso spins a first girl and half in her seat and starts out.
Phew, I almost won, but then I noticed all my pros were dead. What do you guys think? Oh, look, these guys again.
We're getting our match.
Nope.
And then...
Goon glances first to Jet. He knows he's completely outmatched considering the skill level of anyone licensed by the KPGA. So of course he looks to me.
You then, if you aren't afraid to throw down with one goon, then prove it, defend your friend.
Jet laughs even louder than before, doubling over with her sides clutched. Nobody recognizes me. Ever. Never.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Sung-Kwan, why don't you... Oh god! You shouldn't.
Baffled but belligerent, he takes a step towards me.
Well?
Sure buddy, let's make this quick.
Yada yada.
Of the many ways I could destroy this oaf, proxy shuttle river seems like the most fun. Let's see you defend against this. This guy's name, I feel like I've seen it somewhere.
Oh, that's not Sprasky's.
Shh, let's try to enjoy this. I finish firing my dragons, or should I say dragoons, over the cliff, guarding his base, and move forward. This attack would be capable of testing someone as strong as Locke. 1 right click, 1 A left click. Predictably he panics, with Zealots breaking through the front to handle his tank and dragons, chasing down his marines. My river is free to take aim wherever it pleases. 1 right click, left click, right click. Boom! Tank down, and those SCVs are next. 1 right click, left click, right click. Now we're talking. With a crippled economy and lacking Goliaths or missile turrets, there's almost nothing he can do to turn this around. Let me finish defanging him so I can have a little more fun. Just one more shot. 1 right click, left click, right click, left, right. I should say it said 1, but whatever. Perfect, with my reinforcements on the way, that just leaves one thing to do.
Average 114 APM. Accuracy 100%. Rank S.
And achievement unlocked. 1 second, I need a drink. By the time I'm back from the vending machine, I see a Terran base totally destroyed behind the victory screen. One slams a fist on the desk and his goon clanmate staring naive.
That's bold! Who'd have thought they are both pro gamers?
So, we good? After a long pause, one jolts upright with snort.
Hell no, that brat was the one who owes us a match, not you two. Give us a game or suffer disgrace on message boards all over the internet.
Nope.
The clan behind one sighs collectively, prepared to accept defeat. Defiant, he chews over an idea silently before turning back towards his crew. He whispers, then turns towards us with grin. The rest of his clanmates share the expression.
Then you leave us no choice. Until you accept a rematch, we're turning this cafe into the headquarters of Clan Goon.
At once the goons form a line at the clerk's desk and pay for PC time one by one. Smoke seems no more interested in the dozen or so new customers than he did in our conflict. The clan returns shortly, choosing stations that encircle our 3 setups, shouting table-shaking reign supreme for the next hour. We do our best to ignore their attempts to irritate us. In the middle of a close game between me and Jetfall, one of the clan members shuffles behind me.
Hey dude, she hit an expansion in the top left!
I turn and stare at him. Jet does too, for she looks more like she wants to strangle him. He runs off with grin and throws a fist bump at another gun. Even though they're putting work into intentionally annoying us, it's clear that the majority of them are having fun or playing games of their own. Screw this, let's go to another cafe. One barks from across the room and shakes his head at me.
Go ahead, we're happy to locate until you meet our demands.
You guys must truly have no lives.
Don't blame us, blame your friend. She's the one that won't give a rematch.
This is my fault.
Don't listen to them, I'm sure they'll eventually lose interest.
But it's important for you and Jet to practice.
Let's get out of here, we can eat early before you have a hug one. But Minseo doesn't budge. With uncharacteristic intensity, she aims a star across the room at 1.
If I win, you have to promise you'll leave us alone and say you're sorry.
Fine. And when I win, you guys have to give this place up to Clan Goon. How's that?
I mean, technically we don't own that place, so...
You're on this Sunday at noon. One game right here.
Are you sure about this, Miseo?
I'm a StarCraft player. Why should I be afraid of a challenge? The club deserves a competitor who has their leader, like you, Jet.
Once Green spreads ear to ear. With a flick of his wrist, he gestures over his clanmates spread across the cafe.
See you soon.
He turns his back and departs when the goon clan is gone. Chae-Young falls into a chair and spins it towards me.
Teach her how to gate.
Too obvious. We glance up at Minseo to find her staring down and mumbling at something in her hand. When she notices us, she straightens up and forces a fierce expression to her face.
Teach me to play standard.
One wasn't great, but he had basic competency throughout the early and mid game. It takes most people a few weeks to get there. Knowing that, do you still want to go for a macro win against him?
How about something that's strong and easy but easy in the cheese?
There is barely anything that fits the description. Maybe a Nexus first into mouse gateways.
You'll have tomorrow and Saturday morning practice. It's gonna be a lot of work.
If you guys with me, I'm ready for it.
Good. You need to go to Hagun soon, yeah?
Oh yeah, time to go.
Minseo hustles to collect her things before hanging out. She offers us a wave and that will before hopping down the stairs. It looks like she's starting to take the game seriously.
I know what she's feeling right now, but to stand up for what's right, you need power.
We'll give her some over the next few days. Neither of us sit back down at our stations, a pause, and we share a glance. When to go?
Do something, sure.
The XSL round of 16 starts tonight. We could watch it someplace. How about life? It's early enough that we can still get good seats. Well, I don't know. I scratch behind my head and glance away, but Jet's too keen.
You'll have to go back eventually. The sooner the better if you're trying to keep your name out there.
I can't help but feel she's talking past me. Does make it any easier.
It's low pressure. We'll just be there to watch, okay?
Yeah, okay. Chae-Young and I stand shoulder to shoulder on our way up the escalator. The 6th floor of the Coex Mall waits at the end of our ride. On top of league meetings and fun events, this is where pro gamers come for weekly one-on-one and team matches. I've probably been to the studio no less than 50 times in the past year, and not once in the past week. How long has it been for you?
A while.
Since you were on Shock T1 team then? She's got to feel my stress tenfold, and to think she convinced me.
You'll get stuck signing autographs if we don't find our seats right away. Good thing you don't have to worry about anything like that.
The relatively small arena seats about 50 or so spectators. The TV station in charge of XLS's broadcast holds league matches here up to the semi or grand finals. Huge Star League finals have been held everywhere from concert halls to aircraft hangars with low audiences in the tens of thousands, but the average everyday match takes place right here in front of a few dozen.
An idea who's playing tonight?
I don't respond instead, searching out the answer on the massive screen ahead. Locke stands with Coach Park near the front of the stage. He and 3 others play today to see who moves on to top 8. Chae-Young says something to me, but I don't hear it. When Locke turns his head towards the crowd, I duck towards Jet. It's Kijung. I can't believe I forgot his games hour today.
Hope he's done nursing his second place hangover.
She looks forward to catch sight of Locke only to find he's gone backstage.
What are you so anxious for?
I have nothing but fond memories of my time on CHB Renown. I only wish they lasted longer, or that I'd have worked just a little bit harder, you know. For all of our ribbing, she knows when to go back.
Sure, yeah, I know what you mean.
That reminds me, what was it like playing on Shock T1? I heard their team house is really nice.
Well, maybe now. Back then, I'm not so sure.
I heard you even had a maid service, and everyone knows about Shock T1's special practice room, or was that after you'd already left?
It's all ancient history. The only team house I want to think about is the one I'll be moving into when I'm signed.
I catch Jet stealing a few glances my way as spectators begin to fill up the rest of the studio. Whatever is gnawing at her eventually conquers her retinas.
Did you actually watch my games?
The televised ones, of course. Even got my parents to watch with me a few times. They thought I was lying about you up until that first shot of you in the booth.
Your parents let StarCraft into the house and I had to go and lose, huh? My bad.
Don't worry, it was more about forcing them to witness that you'd made it. An electric guitar chord washes over the crowd and puts our reminiscing to an end. Looks like it's time for the matches to start. Kijunk emerges from the backstage when the announcers shout his name to a chorus of cheers.
How's his TVT these days?
Probably his worst matchup, for not by much. Believe it or not, he can be impulsive and a little stubborn, not a good combination for Siege Tank standoff. She turns away with a thoughtful expression, one I remember well from our dates figuring out builds that these days have long been standard. The game gets underway without much more fanfare. Lux fans chant in unison as the map loads up. I don't need to do anything now, right? Log moves on after a dominant performance. I should expect nothing less. There are still matches left to watch between other players, but I feel too restless to wait for them. Sorry, I'll be back. Chai Young's gaze follows me when I stand and brush my way past her. Aside from the occasional normal patrol of the mall, the area outside the studio is mostly empty. That's good, considering where I'm headed. A hallway reserved for employees and players waits opposite the door to the studio. When two middle-aged KPGA officials emerge, I step past them like I belong. I maintain my forward pace. It's only when I stop that I'm noticed by either Coach Park or Locke. Then the adrenaline that drove me to stand at this spot spatters away.
Oh, Sungwan, hello.
Coach!
Take it, you're hard to work as usual. What brings you back here?
Sorry, I was here to watch Log's game, but I want to say something since I'm here. Do you mind?
Ah, sure, I'll see you at the one, Kijunk.
Coach Park excuses himself with a note. When he's gone, Locke and I are the only people standing in the hallway. The sound of the studio rumbles through the wall on my left. Sounds like the last game is getting started.
I didn't expect you to be here.
Well, I forgot that you were playing today, but I'm glad I was here to see it.
The girl you're with, that's Chai Young's home, isn't it? Someone else might doubt their players remain steadfast in this profession when they see you alongside a person like that.
I know what people think of her, but her drive for the game is infectious. I see what they don't. Hell, I think she's flirting with the idea of a Chinese tournament just to compete again. Even you couldn't convince me that she doesn't belong in the league, Hyung.
Then trust your judgment and say no more. Do you remember what I said to you at the team house? You were a good practice partner, but if you don't aspire to more than that, then why bother? Look where it's left you.
He lifts his chin as if to say, this is it. The two of us alone in the hallway, distant from the limelight. The day I refused to admit my mistakes is the day I stopped improving. But why did Coach Park cut me, Kijunk? I performed well for an amateur.
You're satisfied with that when you spend every waking hour playing or thinking about this game, you have to justify your performance. You don't need the answer to the question, what good is there in considering yourself over what you can't change?
Behind his glasses, I can feel his eyes soften.
Pity or apology.
You work hard, Sungwan, as hard as a gifted player can be expected to, but you can't let hard work justify failure.
Not once have I stopped believing that we only earned what we are due.
Even if we didn't, it wouldn't change a thing for you or for me. Do you dream of a championship, Sungwan?
Every day, Hyung. Every day.
Then go win something. The team is waiting on me. Goodbye, Sungwan.
He turns, I run my hands down my face and head back towards the mall. What I expect to come from this? I must seem like a complete tool. Or probably what you wanted to say is fool. Soon enough, the crowd filters out of the studio and back into the mall. Among them, I see a displeased Chai Young.
Really cool of you to leave me alone. You know how many randos came up after you left.
I want to know more about ICG.
Huh? Did you hit your head or something?
No, I just thought it might be a good idea if we went.
You came to an epiphany that it's okay to face. What did you call them again? Irrelevant foreign troubles?
More like how to get on a KPGA team's radar.
But Sungkwan, what about these honorable non-Koreans polluting the sanctity of esports?
It's pointless for me to respond. I give her the victory with a shrug.
It's 2 weeks from now, in China, some southern coastal city. The tournament has an open bracket alongside a few seeded invites. And it's not just StarCraft, by the way. Every popular esport plus a few others is at this event.
StarCraft, Warcraft 3.
Yeah, some shooters, fighting games too, and whatever sponsored garbage they got this year. Exactly.
The other games are garbage. The other sports sponsored garbage. Yeah. Basically garbage. Garbage. What do you mean?
You know, some random game studios see StarCraft and their marketing guy goes, oh, that could be us. So they sink $500,000 in turning their game to an esport and fail miserably, always.
Yeah, would be good to see some of those to fail, really.
I don't know about that, no. Well, it's good to land a score, so you don't get screwed.
I'll be sure to turn down any shitty offers to play phone games for a living then.
See? You get it.
Chaeyoung went our spaceways at the subway station. She said she'd take care of the arrangement for ICG, for it would keep her from showing up at Golden Zone Fire until later tomorrow. Any questions I had about costs and flights, she simply shrugged off. Jet's not exactly as possible, but she's reliable. I trust her to figure this out for me. Just as I'm about to open the door to my apartment, I hear the sound of something shuttered down the hallway. Am I curious enough to go? My curiosity gets the better of me, and when I go to investigate, I find my neighbor staring at the ground. Big ceramic shards litter the common room floor, most likely from a plate, alongside bits of beef and cabbage. It looks like she hasn't moved since she dropped it. Everything okay? It takes almost a full 5 seconds before she glances up at me. When she does, it's with a deep sigh.
I dropped my food.
I can see that. You need any help or?
No, I'll get it.
Long day or something?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to fail that SAT.
It's hard to find a quick response to that. In the interim, she drops her shutter plate and trash piece by piece, each punctuated by word.
All I do is study.
Technically it's possible to fail, and if you're studying hard enough to live here, I can guarantee you'll do alright. I'm not lying, it takes serious dedication to one's grades or extremely overbearing parents to endure months of goshiwa in life.
You went through the same thing, then why aren't you in college? I have to get into an American university or my parents are going to kill me. Do you know what that's like?
I open and shut my mouth and then stop down the hall to grab something out of my room. An admission letter with a big heading familiar to most college-bound students at the top. I had the details of the bottom half as I displayed her. Do you know this university?
Of course, it's one of my rich schools. If I get in with a scholarship, my parents said I can have any graduation present I want.
Last year I deferred my enrollment because I was invited to play StarCraft Professional on CHB Renown. I'm here because they cut me.
Oh. Well. I've seen the Star Wars commercials on XBC.
StarCraft.
Trust me when I say that I know what it's like. I mean, you didn't go to university to get into a school like that. You had to work so hard. Want it so bad.
Oh, that StarCraft more.
Why? I bet your parents want to strangle you. Not like, actually, you know what I mean.
They're still upset with me, yes.
I don't blame them. Any tips you wish you knew in retrospect?
What, like study techniques?
How much sleep you got, the music you listened to, the food you ate.
I don't want to get stuck giving every day of the life I left behind and turn back towards my room. Start off by keeping it on your plate.
I'm trying.
She's crazy. You know what? Let's end the episode here, I think. And we'll continue tomorrow. Because, I don't know, maybe it's next day, maybe it's not. We'll see tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you there. Bye-bye.